lasted like a minute. All right, everybody. We just burned for about 4, almost 5 hours. Took 3 hours to get everything into the pit, and I let it smolder for a little longer. I'm now out of kindling, so some of these bigger chunks would take a while. So I'm going to start spreading the big pieces off to the side, and I'm going to extinguish this. I have a garden hose here that I was occasionally spraying the ground to stop it from spreading. Today's a pretty good day. We have like 10-mile-an-hour winds, so it's not blowing like crazy, but it's enough to keep the fire burning nicely. I got this fire extinguisher here that I'm going to start putting it out with because I just want to test this thing. This thing is completely rechargeable at home. You can just pump it up with any kind of pump that'll go to 100 psi. This extinguisher here I bought for 20 bucks. If I was to buy it new, it would be 200. I got it refurbished, came with new seals. They tested it up to 200 psi, and now the operating at 100. It has a new hose, the new gaskets. As you can see up here, it was recertified in January of 2020. And on the side of it, I don't know. Is this thing originally from 1985? I don't know. There's another tag over here on the side of it. It was tested in 2006, and our most recent, it was tested in the beginning of 2020. We're going to give this thing a go, and when I'm done, I have another clip I can put on that. I will show myself recharging it after. This thing, it's optional. You can add firefighting foam in there, so it foams up. I didn't. It's just filled with plain water. After I give that a test, I'm going to use some of this stuff here. That's good to have around because that shoots really far if it was to catch something that I couldn't reach on fire. We also have a nice stream here. And when I'm done extinguishing this, I'm going to show you a few culverts that we have over in the yard. There's actually 2 of them. Alright, let's give this fire extinguisher a go. This is a Class K, meaning it's just for wood and paper fires. You can't use it on grease, electrical, any kind of fuel fire. Just used up about 1/3 of the tank, and that is pretty awesome. Let's see how far this thing can shoot. I really don't know. I've never used it before since I bought it. Let's see. That's a good 50 feet. The log catches now that I'm using this. I can feel I'm running out of power. Time to get the hose out. Alright, that's pretty good. This holds 2.5 gallons, so it started off pretty heavy. Now it weighs basically nothing. Make sure I don't lose that pin. Let's get the garden hose out and start flooding it. Okay, I just saturated that so much. Just about all the steam is done. I'm gonna give this an hour, then I'm gonna soak it one more time. Let's go take a look in those culverts. I gotta get my big tall boots on. This little stream back here is not real. It is actually man-made. It drains the area because it used to flood back like 40 years ago. And I could have just taken buckets from there. It would have taken a lot longer, but it doesn't matter. There's no water bill. It's all coming from a well system, so it's basically coming from that little stream anyways. Take a look in these culverts. Come back to the fire in a little while. Give it another soaking. So back here is a little stream. I actually pulled a bunch of junk out of here and burned it. See, I have the junk collecting there. That's because some of the people in this area dump their lawn clippings into the stream, thinking it just gets taken away, but it actually clogs up culverts and it gets stuck, causing jams. The river overflows its banks and floods yards. Right here is just a really small culvert, because years ago this was actually a farm. That's like for a tractor to be able to get across. The next one is owned by the town because they put in a street since this was done. Now that tree right there I would have left, because when that stump rots, this wall is going to fall down. So this culvert here looks like it used to be a 4-foot culvert, and they crushed it like this so it would fit in here more like a little bridge. See, it has the rubber coating that has since started falling off, but for being 40 years old when this was put in, because I can't imagine it was replaced, it's in pretty good condition for a 40-year-old culvert. These ones usually tend to go really fast, and my lights in here do absolutely nothing. The next one that'll make a difference because it's longer. Up here's another one. That little pipe goes up to a storm drain. Now this next pipe is the same. Like I said, this does not always run. In the hot summer, this dries up. Sometimes we get fish in here because upstream there's a park. When the pond overflows, it comes down here. Okay. I've never been in this one before. It's a little uncomfortable, but I'll make it. Look at all the sand that built up in here. What is this? See that big bulge on the ceiling? There's like a big dent in the culvert. You want to know what that looks like to me? And it's not a danger because it's not rusting or anything. It looks like there was a frost heave up on the road. That happens up north. When you have water stuck under the road, it freezes, expands, it usually makes a big bump. But it will take the path of least resistance. Instead of busting up through the asphalt, it pushed down on the culvert. Not a big deal. It's not rusting. Look at the tar, looks really shiny. Because this is owned by the town, they might have recoated this one. You know, they probably did. But the bottom's all cracking because, like I said, this isn't always running. Maybe on a hot summer, they came in here and sprayed after they used a jet to get the junk out. Actually, do you see what I'm standing on? That's actually a floor, you see? That's tar. It smells really bad of asphalt in here. They must have redone it. I'm not gonna walk back through this. I'm gonna walk over the street. Because this one is really cramped. I'm walking on 3 limbs. Water's freezing because I have my arm in it for stabilization. What is that? See that? It's round. Looks like there's access to something. You know, this pipe isn't deep in the ground because you got to imagine the water main and sewer go under it. Okay. You see on the other side is a bunch of plant growth. A bunch of daylilies in here. All right. Let me show you me recharging that extinguisher once I get home. Okay, now with one of these fire extinguishers, just unscrewed this. I'm gonna pull out the pipe, lay that down for a second. And now inside here, you're gonna see this piece. Now, I don't have to take it out, but you can see out inside there's this plastic piece. It goes down to about right here or so. You're gonna fill this up with water up to the top of that. If you do use firefighting foam, you put it in after the water. If you put it in first, the water pouring in is going to activate it, and it's going to go all over the place. So first, I'm going to fill it up, and until it gets to the top. Now, filling one of these up is very simple. Until it gets to the bottom of this plastic piece, you can just look in there and fill it up. If you don't want to do it that way, you can measure out in milk containers, 2.5 gallons. That's what it takes. And also, when you're filling with the hose, as soon as it gets to that point, it starts making a slurping noise, and you know when to stop. If you underfill it, it's not dangerous. You're just not going to get the full extent of the extinguisher. And now if you overfill it with water, you can still only go up to 100 psi. If you overfill it, there's not going to be enough air to push out all the water. Okay, so you put this thing back down in here, lined up with the bracket. And now this, you're just going to hand tighten it. No need for a wrench. Hand tighten it. Once this thing is charged, that thing is not going to move until it's empty. Okay, I just charged that orange tank up with 120 pounds. So now I can get the extinguisher filled up. Remove this little cap. Same kind of thing a car has. Put this on here. Now with this, you do not want to hit the button to release air because you're going to get water up inside the valve and that can mess something up. Now if you live in a cold place and you're keeping this in the garage, you can put some RV antifreeze in here with the water to keep it from freezing. RV antifreeze is not dangerous. Put that in there. Hear all the bubbles? A lot of bubbles. Hey, we're already up to 20 because it's just a little bit of air. I want to show you the valve going up. Oh, that's going up real fast. I can't stop because it'll go up through the valve. You don't want that. Got to keep it in the green. It's off. Put the little cap back on. And if you do get water up in this valve by accident, it's not a big deal because if it goes up, you just put the thing back on, force air through it, it'll clean itself out. Now, go here and put the pin through. Where's the other hole? There we go, the pin's in. I have a brand new tag. I haven't done one of these in such a long time. Just gotta make sure I do it right. Oh, wrong way. There we go. Thing is charged and ready to go. This is a great thing to have like on a camping trip. As you saw today, it's very effective. That was a big fire and it completely put it out so that the flames were gone. It would, if I left it like that, I don't think it would have started back up, but I like to drench it and be safe. Okay, this is at an angle. See, I got it exactly up to 100. if you can get a good angle. Perfect. And this thing doesn't leak. It has brand new seals when it was recertified at the beginning of the year. Thanks for watching. Got this horn here for a tractor trailer. I've never used this on 100 PSI. I've only tested it on 10. 10 PSI, this thing is super loud. You need earplugs. Let's see how it sounds with 100. Gotta cover my ears with my arm. Yeah, that is super loud with 100. Well, that's not going to start up again. That has soaked everything. My ash dam held up without breaking. That's about maybe 18 inches of ash. That'll be great for the gardens. Ash puts a lot of carbon into the dirt. Just mix it in with your garden soil. That'll help stuff grow. Believe it or not, earlier I soaked this for 20 minutes straight. I just dug